Road is Star Road. I mean, it doesn't get any bigger than this. Hey,
hi.
It's nice to see you, Mika. It's Schultz.
So great to see you. How are you doing?
Doing fine.
Joe's here too.
That's right.
Yeah.
Why is it called Mika in the morning? Heck with now.
No, it's morning Joe.
You're a heck of a lot better looking he'll ever be.
No doubt about it.
Smarter too.
Smarter.
You're on the good side.
Yes.
You're on the good side.
She's on the side of right, baby, which is the left for you two.
All right, now that's
I'm the conservative. Oh, come on, Mika. You're a Marxist. You know what I'm looking for.
Marxist? Holy smokes.
She calls me a fascist every morning at work.
No, fascist was not the word. I just said you need to go to the gym.
Oh,
We all did.
Yeah.
All right. We all need to do that. All right. Is this Obama wave coming in going to take out the whole beach? We're hearing that the Clintons, my sources are telling me the Clintons are going to take it all the way to the convention, that they're calling super delegates, that it's all about the delegate count. Does it matter what happens here?
Oh, it most definitely happens. The Clintons this weekend have been furiously calling their donors because they know after Tuesday night they're not going to be able to pick up the phone the next day and ask for money because Barack Obama is going to, right now, many people think going to win by 10, 12 points. It's going to be devastating for them. So they are running through all of their money. And by the time they get to the national primary on February the 5th, her problem is Barack Obama raised his money on the internet, $500 at a time. Hillary Clinton raised it the old-fashioned way, people who have maxed out. She may not have the money to take it past Super Tuesday if she doesn't start winning, because South Carolina's not going to go well for her.
Joe Scarborough, MSNBC, Mika Brzezinski, MSNBC, Joe in the morning.
Morning Joe.
Is that what it is?
It's morning Joe, like a cup of coffee.
Oh, that's what it is.
Did you get that?
What's
good, isn't it?
Well, I only started watching it yesterday. I was really impressed.
Coming up next, interview with a personal friend of Ed's, Bruce Springsteen.
Mika, what's your pulse on this? Is this Obama wave going to take the whole beach?
You know, I'll tell you this much. As a reporter, what I have found fascinating, and it started in Iowa, is seeing the anecdotal evidence, the stuff that you see happening out in the street when you really talk to people, translated into the real story, into votes. We met at Java Joe's in Iowa, Republicans voting for Obama, independents voting for Obama, women voting for Obama, and we heard these stories out in the field. The question was the excitement and were the little anecdotes that we were picking up along the way going to translate into a win for him? It did.
You know,
and we're seeing that here in New Hampshire.
I had a lot of Republicans come up to me, seriously, and it was almost like I was a priest and they were coming to confess.
Seriously?
Really, and they come and go, Joe, I'm a Republican, but I'm going to caucus for Barack Obama. And to which I'd say, well, good for you. You know, what's the Republican Party done for you lately? And a lot of Republicans are deciding if there's just not somebody they can be excited about on their own side, they're going to make a historic choice.
Joe, go figure. He's got the most liberal voting record of any of the Democrats that are up there. What are independents? Exactly. Now, my take on this... Okay. Well, I think it is. I think there's a lot of Americans out there that are sick of right and left, Democrat, Republican. They want a candidate, somebody that inspires them, and he apparently has done that. But I also think that Obama has transformed from an activist to a state senator to a senator to a candidate to a movement.
Yeah.
And these 20-somethings and 30-somethings, they know the Bobby Kennedy story.
Yeah.
But they've never lived through anything like that, and now they're living through something like that. I really believe that's what's taking on here.
Joe, tell me what we're seeing here in New Hampshire with the turnout at these events. I mean, he's having to speak outside. I mean, it's crazy.
There's an event an hour ago that started in Lebanon, New Hampshire, and if you get 500 people at a New Hampshire event, you're doing great. Barack Obama had 750 people outside waiting in line, another 800 inside. He gave a speech to the people outside, walked inside, gave a speech there. You talk about ages there, and Ed, we joke a lot about left, right, and I'm not a fascist here, Marxist, whatever. But you know, you and I, we disagree on a lot of things, but we both, if we had to sit together in a room and figure it out and work it out, we could do that.
We've lost that in America.
Yeah, we've lost that in America. Barack, and you know what, we lost it when Brokaw had this great documentary about 1968. There are all these people older than us fighting about what happened in 68, fighting about Vietnam, fighting about Watergate, fighting about Bork, fighting about Thomas, fighting about all of these things that are not your fight and my fight. And Barack Obama is moving past the 60s. He's moving past that battle where we can get guys like you and me. Again, you can name any subject. I know, again, we disagree on a lot of things, but we can sit down and talk about it. And we can figure it out. Barack Obama seems to be moving that direction.
That's exactly why Conrad from North Dakota, the chairman of the Senate Budget Committee, has endorsed him. One of two senators, Dick Durbin, the other one. He's saying that he has seen Obama work across the party lines and communicate, and work. What can Hillary Clinton do?
Well, meanwhile, on the ground here in New Hampshire, Hillary Clinton events, and again, anecdotal evidence so far.
By the way, real quick, just about 30 minutes ago, reports that she started crying at a town hall event. I'm not being negative, but she's getting very emotional. An NBC reporter just emailed and said she was doing a round table and began tearing up, saying, "It's tough. This is very hard, but I'm going to fight on."
And what we're finding, as opposed to the Barack Obama events, and these are from our reporters, and Tim Russert even, we were talking at the bar last night about this, at her events, at some of these events, instead of having people crushing the stage and walking a mile to go, cars from Massachusetts and New York, and
they're importing.
They're importing in a Nashua High School event this weekend. The janitor went to Russert, whispered to him, he said, "Go look at the cars in the parking lot. Look at their license plates." He went outside Massachusetts. Andrew Mitchell went to an event yesterday. All New York tags. They're importing.
Well, it's all coinciding with them on the phones calling the superdelegates, that being their firewall and the fundraising. They're trying to stretch this thing out as far as they can.
New Hampshire was going to be a firewall.
Well, I know it. The game changes quite a bit. Let's talk about her tearing up. Is that because it's, quote, tough, or is this some real Hillary emotion coming out because she just never thought this was going to happen, that she, in her mind, thought, holy smokes, I'm in my own mind, I've got the nomination, but I'm just not going to say that, and now all of a sudden it's happening in front of me.
or is it Bill?
Now go back to the question that Katie Couric asked her about, have you ever thought about losing it? And she was just like, what? You know, that was the response. So, I mean, I think that this is a real emotion of her possibly losing setting in.
You don't like to talk about Bill, so I will.
No, I was leading you into it because, yeah, I got to tell you, I think I know what he was trying to do, but it did not come up.
Ed, let me ask you a question. Let's say you were fighting for your life on this radio station and on your radio show, and every day or two your wife went on another radio show and said something that undermined her. Like last night, Bill Clinton was giving a speech in Plymouth and said to a crowd out there, you know, basically, don't blame me. And he said, quote, I can't make her any younger. I can't make her any taller. I can't make her a man. Apologizing, and he apologized earlier in the day for the loss in Iowa and started blaming her campaign staff. Joe, there's a story like that every day. How hard is that? And let me just tell you, I like Hillary Clinton on a personal level very much. From a distance, she seems like a cartoon character. That she's been made that, turned out that way by a lot of us on the right. But you meet her one-on-one, she's a good, decent person. And I think this would be terribly difficult for anybody.
You know, getting to the Clinton thing, I think that he could have stayed home and she'd have got 30% of the vote in Iowa. That's the story that nobody's talking about. Is that he has done nothing for her campaign to this point.
There is a lot going on in that campaign.
Oh, sure there is.
And it's got to be incredibly stressful.
And for 35 years or 40 years, Hillary Clinton's had her guard up.
Right.
She has no media friends, Joe.
Yeah.
She doesn't have any media confidants. She doesn't have anybody in the media that can maybe put out a positive story about her, and you know it's all caving in on her. If she comes back, this will be the biggest political comeback in contemporary time.
Who wasn't on our show this morning who said they're looking forward to writing that story? But I just don't know. Right now it feels
no,
like
they aren't. They aren't like who was it? It was it Buchanan?
We had so many people.
Somebody came on and said that people wanted to write the story of Hillary Clinton's comeback, but Ed, you're exactly right. They don't. They want to bury it.
They love the McCain story.
She has no media advocates. She has no media friends, and I mean real.
I hear you.
Right. No, and you take somebody like John McCain, They have been writing, the media has been writing about McCain's comeback now for the past 6 months. They adore McCain, they worship him. Whereas Hillary Clinton is standing alone right now because she just doesn't have a lot of friends in the press.
Mika Brzezinski, Joe Scarborough, my pleasure. Morning Joe, 6 to 9 Eastern Time, MSNBC.
You know, first time I was on the show 4 years ago.
They said we were going to last 6 months.
Yeah. Well, you know, isn't it interesting? And if I could just say this, there were, you know, Air America was coming out, they were rolling it out, and they had all of these huge names. And I remember going back telling a friend at NBC, I know, I met the guy who's gonna make it. And it's it.
Oh, you're very kind.
You're a broadcaster, and the rest of them were flashes in the pan.
Oh, it's good to be here. Thank you, Jim.
Yeah. All right, great to see you, Ed.
Nice to meet you. Take care.
All the best.
All right.
That's Mika Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough. Morning Joe, 6 to 9 a.m. Eastern Time, MSNBC.